Welcome to Mike Odyssey Live. We are here one more time, just like yesterday, right? 2 days in a row. Me streaming 2 days in a row. That is that itself is breaking news, right? Because I rarely stream, and now I'm streaming 2 days in a row. Well, my friends, that's how the news is. We have a lot of news to talk about. If you guys weren't aware, we had the drought ended on Friday. Let's just say that, right? The drought ended on Friday. Every hour we got something new regarding Nintendo Switch 2, right? And then right at the end, just to put a cherry on top, our buddy, our insider, I think Shigeru Miyamoto's son, Pioro himself, commented on what was said. Basically, he did not deny it. He said it was out there for a while. This had happened for a while. So, hey, if he commented when Pioro speaks, it's not a leak, it's a spoiler. And so I am gonna give you more confirmation today about what was said when it for the Nintendo Switch 2 leaks. I have more confirmation for the Nintendo Switch 2 leaks. As a matter of fact, my oldest confirmation, the one that I'm going to give you today, is about 8 months old. Okay. And so today, I'm going to increase your confidence in what we could very well see very soon, which is the Nintendo Switch 2 with some proof. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching all over social media. We are on Facebook, X, YouTube, and we are on Twitch. And yes, you've been waiting for this. I'm not going to give you any fluff. Let's get into the news. First things first, let's go over real quick the list of leaks. And then after we go over the list of leaks, I'm going to show you some things that are going to make you a little bit happy because hey, we have, once we have Pioro confirming some things, right? So, I mean, with that, you should be happy already. The guy has a 100% track record, right? I mean, he probably lives in Kyoto, right next to the Nintendo of Japan, and he sneaks in or he breaks in or something. But we'll go over the leaks right now, and then after we go over the leaks really quick, we'll go over the proof. And let's see here. Let me share my screen really fast. And I'm doing this for those of you who are watching this live stream with watching it pre-recorded. I'm going to go straight into the news so that I don't waste your time or even waste anybody else's here time. I'm going to go ahead and straight into the news here. Let's go over these leaks that we have here, making sure that, okay. If you guys can see the screen here, let me know if you can see it correctly, or I can just kind of, there you go. Make it better for you guys here. All right, so the first one we have here, I'm going to go over this. It's about 6, and then we'll go over the proof. So Nintendo Switch 2 will continue to support existing Joy-Cons and Pro Controllers. Still equips the ALSP dual axis linear motors and HC Rumble. Okay, so basically the Bluetooth compatibility is the same for Nintendo Switch controllers that will be on Nintendo Switch 2. Number 2, the cartridge slot for Switch 2 will support backwards compatibility with physical Switch games and ensuring compatibility with players' existing game libraries, including digital versions. So backwards compatibility is a thing for the next system. Next, we have the new version of Joy-Cons has a larger volume. Okay, a larger volume, meaning I think it's louder, right? And the sliding rail structure has been changed to magnetic suction. Okay, the SL and the SR buttons are metal buttons. Metallic suction is achieved through electromagnetic suction technology controlled by electric current. It's worth noting that in addition to the L, ZL, R, and ZR buttons on the sides of the Joy-Con controller, a third button has been added on both left and right sides. They're not very specific with that. Then additionally, all right, aside from the third button, additionally, below the home button on the right Joy-Con, there is an additional function button. Okay, so basically 3 buttons have been added. One on the left, one on the right, and then one below the Joy-Con, the home button. With it says an additional function button. We don't know what that is yet because it's funny. People who were exposed to the Switch 2, they were exposed to actually get the dimensions and measurements of it by feeling it rather than looking at it. So it's very weird. All right, the bottom of the Switch 2 will feature a USB-C port for docking, and the new generation dock will undergo micro changes in appearance while enhancing performance, supporting 4K resolution. All right, the new dock will feature a damping bracket, all right, a damping bracket on the back, allowing for a greater range of adjustable angles. Okay, the screen will be upgraded to an 8-inch display supporting 1080p resolution. Now, I'm pretty sure that if you have followed this channel, you've known that a lot of these things here sound familiar, right? They sound very familiar. It's because we've been talking about it for I think the past year, maybe, or the past 2 years. I'm going to go ahead and present you now the proof. Okay, so let's go ahead and pretend we're in a court, right? So let me make sure the music is not too loud here. And evidence number one. Here is a video. Here's a video that I published 8 months ago. 8 months ago. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that there. A video that I published 8 months ago. Okay, and I have the links here. I can go ahead and give you the links, but right here it says if you want to even type it says new Switch 2 controller patent discovered. You can type that into my channel and you'll find out that video. But here is one that I brought up 8 months ago. Now, I want you to hear what I'm kind of saying here real quick. Let me see if I can go ahead and let's see here. Okay, right here. This one was this one was 3 weeks ago. This one was the 3 week ago. This is the one that actually made headlines for a little bit with the swivel. And so listen to this right here. The fat screen again, right? There are no connectors on the side, okay? Meaning this could all be magnetic Joy-Cons that connect to the side, magnetic. No little no little thingy so that could break, right? Magnetically connected. And then here we have the system again. So as you can hear, before the leak came out 3 weeks ago, spoke about this right here. What we're looking at is the actual Nintendo Switch 2 screen. This is a screen. I can see it because first thing, it actually looks a little fatter. It does look a little thicker. Okay, the actual screen looks a little thicker. I have here the actual screen for the Nintendo Switch, right? This is the OLED version, right? And that thing actually, when you're comparing it, right, as an image, putting it side by side there, that thing actually looks a little thicker. Now, not only that, but if you look at the edges, they're a little bit rounded on the screen, versus the edges on the actual OLED, they're kind of they're squared off. They're squared off, and the edges on that screen they're a little rounded off. All right. Not only that, not only did I mention the magnetic connection on that, but let's go over here to the back of the actual right there. This is what to this to that. All right. What do you see different? It is completely different. Yes, it is. On both sides, there are no opening slides on both sides here. And not only that, but it's right in the center. Basically, USB-C and USB, it's swiveling. All right. So here I was talking about the swivel switch. We call it the Nintendo Switch swivel. All right. And so basically, this swivel thing here that we're talking about is the very same thing that they're talking about here. The new dock will feature a damping bracket on the back, allowing for greater range of adjustable angles. All right, same thing that we covered on the patent. All right, the adjustable angles, the bracket on the back. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this. This part in the patent, they were talking about 2 ways of doing it. It was this way, and a little more later in the video, we see we see it again. We see this part again. Okay, all right.
Adventure confidently.
There's an ad. Come on, YouTube. Although I get paid for the ad, so okay. But here we have the other version of that, right? So there's two theories. There's two versions of the swivel. That's the first swivel we saw there, and then this part, or this is actually the swivel right here. And what we're looking at right here is the internal, right? The internal part. We're just looking at it from the inside, and this is the actual. This is how it actually looks right here, right? You can actually kind of move from one side to another how you want it. Where do you want your ports to be, on the left or the right? And so this was 3 weeks ago. We happened to get last Friday all these leaks that are literally confirming the patents. Okay, literally confirming the patents from Nintendo. The new dock will feature a dampening bracket on the back, allowing for a greater range of adjustable angles. Angles, right? You can do whatever you want when it comes to that. So that is the first proof, right? Not only did you hear it from the manufacturers, the leaks, Pioro kind of commented on it, but the actual patent, a legal document from Nintendo, speaks of that feature. Okay, so that should give you a little bit more confidence in saying, okay, this is becoming a little more real, because it's actually a legal document Nintendo submitted to the USPTO government website, and it actually describes with images the actual bracket, allowing for grade, the angle thing, right? So there you have the first kind of what do you call that? Mike is frozen in time. Did I freeze? Am I frozen right now? Nintendo Wave. I hope am I okay, all right. So I'm frozen. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. As long, can you guys still hear me though? Can you guys still hear me? Okay, so you guys can still hear me, and you can see the let me go ahead and turn off here, and then turn on there. As long as you guys can still hear me, and then see my screen here, right? That's the most important part. Me, I'm just kind of I look like I'm in shock. I'm kind of like paralyzed from all the realness of this live stream. But anyway, yeah, I'm way too hyped. The camera is overjoyed, and I think the camera just froze on me. It's like it doesn't believe what it's hearing. So anyway, as long as you guys can hear and see what I'm pointing at here, right? This screen right there. We can continue. Okay, let's go to the other proof. Okay, the other proof. All right, here we have a video from 8 months ago. 8 months ago. The title of the video, if you would love to find it, it's New Switch 2 Controller Patent Discovered. Okay. Now, in order to give this a little more credence, let's go ahead and go over here again. And let's look here. The new Joy-Con version has a larger volume and a sliding rail structure that has been changed to magnetic suction. Okay, the SL are blah, blah, metal buttons, magnetic suction achieved, blah, blah, blah. Electronic magnetic suction, controlled current. The worth is nothing. I mean, it's worth nothing. That in addition to the blah, 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 there's additional buttons. Okay. So basically, there's an additional button. So 2 buttons have been added to the right and to the left. 1 button on the right, 1 button on the left. Okay. So buttons. We're talking about buttons here. And then we have an additional home button right there. Okay. So think about this. Think about this. One of the buttons goes on the left. One of the buttons goes on the right. Okay. And then the other button, we're talking about 3 buttons here. Well, actually 2 buttons, because that one button kind of repeats itself in left and right. So technically just 2 buttons. The other one is just on the other side. But anyway, moving on. 2 buttons, 3 buttons. I'll go with 3 buttons. And then let's go in here, the swivel. Okay. All right. So we are here. Let me go ahead and find this right here. Okay. Is from 8 months ago. And it was a patent that I covered here, basically on the channel. After I covered this patent, nobody really covered it at all. Then later on, people picked it up, and then it made sort of look like the news. But I covered this on the channel first 8 months ago. Okay, and so This is about a button or two buttons. Let's go ahead and look at here. First thing, oh, boring. Let's go ahead and go straight to the button because it is a button, guys. Check this out. This is basically right here. It's in parts, okay? It's in part. This right here, it looks like it's a button. Okay, they're working on some sort of technology that has to do with a Nintendo Switch button or Nintendo Switch 2, but it's something that we haven't seen before. You'll see. Let's go ahead and keep scrolling down because all right. So now that the first one you just saw here is one button. This is all by itself a button. Now, could this be the button that's right below the home button? Who knows? But then again, I'm going to show you another button that looks completely different. Here you go. Now, this button that you're looking at right now is completely different, and as you can see, is right on top of the Joy-Con, of the joystick. It's like the joystick is kind of flatter, bigger, and then there's a button right on top of the joystick. Could this be attached to Switch attached? I don't want to know about that. I don't want to think about that name. That name sucks. Could this be an addition to the joystick, an extra button? You know, an extra button that's on top. We already have the confirmation that there are there's the third button added. All right, on both of the left and right sides of the Joy-Con. There's an additional button added, right, and then there's another button added right below the home button. So many buttons, and so here we have again 8 months ago another patent talking about buttons. All right, and then these buttons that we are talking about have never appeared in any other context on any other system, right? And so we have what apparently is two buttons. This button right here because it has like a different shape form, right? And then we also have the button on this side right here. And so if we continue to look at here, we have another kind of demonstration of this thing. What I don't know what that looks like. It looks like another button, right? It's another button. And then right here we have the features. Okay, so this is a button. This is like a stick that there is another patent. I think this is the same patent where it talks about the force, like the magnetic force that the Joy-Cons have, and it actually creates some type of force so that when you're moving forward, if you're walking through sand, if you're walking through water, it's like a haptic feedback, but with force, something very aligned with what the not Nintendo, but something aligned with what the PlayStation 5 triggers have, right? So it does have it, but on the actual joystick rather than the trigger. And so I think this is the patent that talks about it, but it also talks about the additional buttons. The additional buttons that again is here on the main leak from suppliers, right? Right now, just think about it. Right now, that this Nintendo Switch is in the hand of suppliers or manufacturers, and they're just putting together, and then some accessory makers were able to kind of put their hands in something, and I think blindfolded. I don't know how they did it, but they put their hand, they took some measurements, and they felt the system, they felt the control. I don't know why they did that and how. Maybe Nintendo is actually taking an extra secretive kind of thing to it. But here again is more proof. All right. First thing. Something I've been saying for a long time. There's a reason why I cover patents on the channel, right? A patent may not always tell what it's for completely, right? It might just talk about a feature. It might just talk about a little piece of something that might be coming later on, but it always tells a part of the story, right? It's just a part of the complete story. It's not the full story. It's a single bit of the story. And the reason why I cover patents on the channel, which by the way, I've been like ridiculed because of it. My investigation or my credibility as a content creator with these patents, covering patents, have been like, oh yeah, patents don't never come through. There's just something Nintendo discards, and I never take it. You know, it's like so many people have spoken about these patents just dissing them aside without even really seeing the full picture. Okay, even after knowing that there were patents discovered for Breath of the Tears of the Kingdom mechanics, even before Tears of the Kingdom, even before we knew about the Tears of the Kingdom name, much more see any gameplay of the game. We saw the mechanics through patents, right? And so here we have. I'm not sure we have another one here, but there are more features here now because of this. Okay, because of this, there are more patents that I discovered on the on during this patent hunt, right? And it had to do with features that could very well go to Nintendo Switch 2. Now, when it comes to features, you really can't display it just like that. It's just a whole bunch of words, a whole bunch of mechanics, and little things like that. But I made a list. I made a list of all of the features, not just physical changes. Okay, because these are this button right here, and the swivel. Those are physical changes to the hardware. But when it comes to features, that is something we really can't see until Nintendo releases that Nintendo Switch 2 of the internal. So going over these features that I found via patent search could give us an idea. An idea. Again, they might not all make it, but some of them could make it into Nintendo Switch 2 and could give us an idea of could what Nintendo could be giving us through this next gen system. I believe that this system will be different from the Switch and from prior consoles in the way that Nintendo could introduce new features via updates. You know, we are now in that era. We are now in that age when that where Nintendo could say, okay, I am gonna not release this right now, but then give us a new OS feature with brand new updates, right? We heard this when one of the leaks that came out where Nintendo actually sent over an update to one of the dev kits in order to kind of increase the resolution or increase or add something of value, right? So they use an update to add to what was already there. And so I believe that in this generation, Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever Nintendo decides to call it, updates will be a big thing. Like, okay, update 2.0 will bring features such as so. Updates this and this and moving forward. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to go over the list. I actually wrote this on Reddit, so we can go over it. I wrote this on Reddit, the list of all of the features that I found using patents that could make it to Nintendo Switch 2. And the reason why I'm going over this list again is because again, look, we've already proven that these two patents that I've discovered on the channel are literally related to Nintendo Switch 2 and have been confirmed much later on. These patents, one of them was 3 weeks ago, but the other one was 8 months ago, and they both were confirmed via this leak or via this source, right? Not confirmed, more like collaborated, right? Corroborated, corroborated. My first language is Spanish. Okay, guys. Anyway, so let's go over the features here that I have here. The first feature that I found with patent is game share with up to 4 players. Okay, so the patent was published by Nintendo, showing a system where you would share your digital games with up to four other Nintendo accounts. Okay, so you are able to share your digital games with up to 4 additional Nintendo accounts. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the maximum number of family members you can have in your in your account? Let me know if I'm correct or not. But it allows you to share your digital games or games to be kind of collaborated between 4 different Nintendo accounts. Okay, so that one was in the patent. You guys can look at it. You can look it up by shared digital games on the channel as well. You can use any of these keywords on my channel to look at the actual patent and the date that I spoke about it. The second one was a new controller system with haptic feedback, joystick. This would be a similar to what PlayStation 5 did with their triggers, only the joystick. All right, we just went over that patent just now. Example, if you're swimming, the haptic feedback will make it feel like you're actually pushing against the water, or if you're walking in sand, etc. All right, so basically haptic feedback for that. The other one, new controller with memory within them, like an actual storage. For example, you can carry transport Pokemon on your Joy Cons or on your joysticks, or even, this is my speculation, and this is me wanting this feature for Smash Bros. I hope that for the next Smash Bros, they actually allow you to train your own fighter, and level up and train your own fighter, get more abilities, not just have like very generic fighters with each with their own ability, but have your fighter kind of grow with the game. You know what I mean? And then you can actually train your own fighter, and then have him, and then you can actually train all these fighters. So say you collect 20 fighters, you can train them each individually, and make them grow, right? This is another video. But I put this into an idea what could be done with this controller memory within, like transport data, transport game characters, like it was said in the patent, or transport Pokemon. Like if you have a Pokemon you want to play with your friend, bring your Pokemon, have a battle with your friend, you can actually do that as well. The Joy Cons, like transport your own Smash Bros fighter when you train that fighter, bring him with you and battle with your friend or whatever. That's just my ideas on what could be done with this patent. The next one is a Nintendo video streaming service. Yes, we had a patent regarding Nintendo actually streaming movies, TV shows. And I mean, you know that Nintendo is already now in the movie industry. They are now, working on the Legend of Zelda live action movie. I have a video on that with a lot of information if you're interested. They are working on the Mario spin-off in the universe of Mario movie, right? Which is not really the sequel, but more like kind of a spin-off or some sort. Could be Luigi's Mansion, could be Donkey Kong, most likely Donkey Kong, because of the Donkey Kong theme park happening, right? And so to coincide with that, it's opening in 2026. It comes out there. And so that is one of the patents too, streaming service. Another patent that I forgot to mention here, but you can also look it up on the channel, is the hub, the actual dock, the dock itself being a hub, like an entertainment hub, right? So you can actually have your Switch attached. Oh no, I keep saying that. I don't want to. I don't want to bring that into the atmosphere. I don't want to put that into the Switch attached. You can actually bring your Switch with you, and not it being connected to the actual dock. Wait, am I still frozen? Because I'm actually showing you stuff on screen. Am I still frozen? Let me check here. Yeah, I'm still frozen anyway. But the other patent had to do with the actual hub being an entertainment hub, the actual dock. So even if you take your Switch off, it'll still connect to the TV. It'll still have its own software where you can play Netflix, Hulu, and all this stuff, right? And so that also leads to the ability to stream your game onto the hub. You can stream your Switch game or your Nintendo Switch 2 onto the hub without docking it, and maybe that will give you features onto your screen like the Wii U, right? If they ever plan on bringing Wii U games, or 3DS. And so that was an additional patent that I found on the channel. You can actually look it up. I think it's called a new dock or something in that sort. But that was one of them that I found. Let's see here, using mobile. Okay, the number 5, using mobile phones as extra controllers. That one was kind of recent. Patent shows how mobile devices can be used as additional controllers. Connect up to 20 additional controllers. Can be used for party games, for trivia, and all that stuff. I know that this technology already exists on other games, party games, such as the game that shall not be mentioned, but that was one of them. The number 6 is an update on the dual screen patent. I found other patents that were related to that, a family of patents, and this goes back to the 3DS. So it looks like that patent where it showed two screens, detachable screens, was actually maybe Nintendo working on a 3DS model, 3DS XL, that really didn't make it to the market. And so I wanted to provide an update on that. But then the last one, the last patent, of course, was Nintendo's own AI upscaling separate from NVIDIA's. Nintendo filed a patent displaying their own AI upscaling software that could be used in combination with NVIDIA's AI upscaling DLSS 3.1. Okay, so those are basically the six. There's seven. One of them is an update. One of them is not here. But these are the seven kind of features that I found when I was researching for patents on the channel. Right. The only reason I'm going through these patents again, through these features again, because hey, we can't not rule them out. Will they make it all? Maybe not. Will some of them make it? Hey, there's a big possibility that they could. When I covered the other patents, when I was kind of covering the swivel patent, when I was covering the this joystick patent here, I heard a lot of people, maybe a lot of content creators, tell me, no, I mean, that's probably like a discarded thing. The button patent it's probably like a discarded thing. It's probably never going to happen. Patents never come to pass. You've heard credible sources say the same thing. Patents don't come to pass, and they're not true. They're just discarded ideas, and that cannot be further away from the truth. I've always said that patents not always make the light of day, but patents do tell a story. They tell you what Nintendo is thinking. They tell you what Nintendo is working on and experimenting on, and they can very well give you hints of what could come in future consoles or what could come in future iterations and systems, right? Just like we have here. We have two patents confirmed, and then we have them again released in the leak, all right, and confirmed by a whole bunch of sources, and of course, Pioro, that we have this concrete information here. So, um, again, Nintendo is working on something great. We know that Nintendo is working, Nintendo is cooking. We have a lot of proof. Proof is in the pudding, and I'm just as excited as I've always been for Nintendo. We are about remember the meeting is happening on the 7th. There is no coincidence. This is not a coincidence that all this information just happens to come on and come out just a couple of days before Nintendo's next meeting, which is on the 7th. There's a big giant possibility that let's say, yeah, we might not hear the name for the console, but we might get confirmation that it exists, and we might get the code name for the next gen system in this upcoming fiscal meeting. This fiscal meeting, believe it or not, guys, there's a lot hanging on it. Nintendo's going to talk to their shareholders. They're going to tell them what's in the foreseeable, or what happened, what has happened in the past, and then kind of point the way towards the future, and kind of let them know where they are. And so there's a big chance that we could see the Nintendo Switch 2 code name in this meeting, right? I don't know when they are going to do the announcement for the Switch 2. I don't know when if they do it this year or in the summer. I know that if they announce the Switch 2, if they release a trailer, I could see the trailer. I could see the system coming out within the 5 to 6 months after the actual reveal, or after the reveal of the trailer. So if, let's say, for example, I'm not saying it does, but for example, if they do decide to release a trailer for the Switch 2 in May, then I could see that launching around October or November, right? And if they launch it in June, then of course I could see it coming out around February or March. And so the most exciting thing here is that we are less than a year away, my friends, from hearing about, seeing about, and maybe playing this next gen system for Nintendo Switch. I have a whole bunch of videos, guys, on Nintendo Switch 2. I have another live stream just like this one, an entire hour dedicated to all of the leaks, more in detailed, right? Just talking about everything in detail. If you guys are interested in watching that, if you want to know more in detail about the leaks that we went over this past week, if you want to know what I believe, if you care about my opinion in in that way, then that video is there for you to also watch. But man, I want to know. I want to go ahead and jump over to Q&A because I want you guys to give me. I'm still frozen. I know I'm still frozen. Let me see if I can kind of bring myself back. Can I bring myself back? I'm still I'm still frozen. Let me see if I can kind of bring myself back. But in the meantime, I want you guys to Q&A time. It's Q&A. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I can bring myself back here really quick for this camera. But go ahead and at Mike Odyssey. I'm gonna take the next 15 minutes of the stream and try to answer as many questions as I can. Remember, I don't have all the answers, but I can answer you based on what I know, and I can also give you my personal opinion if that matters to you as well. So yeah, next Q&A, just go ahead and at Mike Odyssey in the chat, and I can go ahead and answer your question, give you my opinion, or answer anything based on what I've discovered or what I know in the chat below. Let's see here. You asked JT to bring you back at Mike Odyssey. Let's see here. All right. Da-da-da. Not yet. Nothing yet. Let me see. I'm still working. I'm still working. I have my eye on the chat, monitoring questions, and at the same time, I'm also kind of working on this video thing to see if I can get it to work and be on camera. Okay. Yeah, the camera is on. Camera is on. Let me go ahead and unplug my video card real quick and then plug it back in. I just bought this video card. This is an Elgato. I think it's an Elgato Duo or Duet or something. And let's see if it works. Okay, Elgato Neo. All right, I think I got it. Let's see. All right, I think I got it. Okay. I think it's working now. Hopefully it's working now. Yay, we're back. Okay, we're back. All right, so Q&A time, my friends. You can ask anything you want, literally anything you want. Okay, Q&A. Let me go ahead here. I think I saw one already. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight your. I'm gonna highlight your comment. Is that if that's okay with you on the screen? That way everyone can see it. Okay. Let's go ahead and hear. All right. So first question we have here is from Rainbow Love. Thank you for your question. Whatever happened with the speculated scroll wheel? Oh my god, I remember that. Wasn't there something about that at one point? Yeah, that was a joke. That was hilarious. That was a story that somebody told on the airport where some kind of flight attendant or one of those people that check your luggages, right? Apparently that came from somebody who was checking a luggage at the airport and had this passenger who didn't want to put their luggage inside the scanner, right? And so the X-ray scanner, so they wanted a private check. And when they look at the private check, the person had like a laptop with a controller with a scroll wheel, and he had a business card that said Nintendo on it. So that was the entire thing. I don't know where people got switched to from that. The scroll wheel, I'm pretty sure that was for the mouse. There was a lot of memes that came out after that, but the scroll wheel was nothing. It was just it was the most hilarious leak ever because it wasn't even a leak. It was just like an assumption of somebody kind of saying, "Oh, hey, look, there's a Switch. The guy has a Nintendo business card." So there you have it. All right, so let's go ahead and here. I'm looking over the questions here. All right, we got here one question from Zach Hendricks. He's a co-host here at the Nintendo Podcast. By the way, every Friday night, my friends, every Friday night, if you want to end your weekend on a high note, Nintopic Podcast here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Every Friday night, we're live. Okay, we're live for the podcast. So have the Nintendo Ninjas gotten here yet? No, not yet. They will soon. They will soon. Not yet. I know they got mobile pad. Q, a question. What do you think the button will be for under the home button? All right, that's interesting. That home button could be an additional way to connect with other switches. It could be a function button that you can actually program yourself to whatever you want. It could be a detach button, right? For example, we know that the Joy-Cons are now with magnetic a magnetic kind of thing that you can actually turn on and off. So maybe that button detaches the controllers from the actual Joy Cons. Since if you look at the controllers here, right, that additional that additional button is going to come up right here, right underneath the home button. Okay. Now there's one of them. There's only going to be one of them underneath the home button. No, so maybe that button actually detaches the magnetic off the controllers on both of them. So you push the button, and that'll bring apart the controllers. I'm not sure if they're gonna have a mechanical button like here. So maybe that one is as to detach that button here, or maybe that button brings up the entertainment kind of board dashboard, right? The entertainment. Like if you look at the patent where Nintendo wants to bring streaming services to their platform and use the dock as an entertainment hub, maybe that button is an entertainment hub. You know how we have in our controllers now, we have all these buttons here with Disney Plus and all that stuff. And if I can get that to kind of, it's there, guys. It's there. Believe me. See, the Netflix is right here, Disney Plus, and all that stuff. Maybe that button has to do with the entertainment hub itself, right? Because we have the entertainment hub. Maybe that button, when you push it, it'll open up a menu or something like that. There's so many possibilities we don't know, but there's we can talk about it. That itself is an entire video where we can go over all the possibilities for that little one button that Nintendo is adding. I mean, they're adding three buttons. They're adding one button with one button here, and then one button on each side of each Joy-Con. So the patent that we saw had that button right on top of the joystick. Okay. Now again, I don't know whether it's going to be on there. Maybe that patent was Nintendo kind of looking where they could put that button, where they could place it. They tried maybe placing it on top of the joystick to see if they could kind of, not take away too much space. They might put the button right behind it so that when you hold it like this, you can actually push the buttons right behind it here. So there's many other areas where that other button could be placed, though the additional button on each Joy-Con. We just have to wait and see. But at least we know that had that we know we have the patent that Nintendo was working on a button. We have a confirmation that there is an additional button on there. Now, whether it made it just like it was on the patent, we don't know that yet, right? Like I said, the patent doesn't tell you the whole story. It just tells you that there is a feature they're working on and that could be implemented. So that this right here, what you're looking at right there, that button is right there. We don't know how Nintendo will implement that, whether they will put it on top of the joystick, just like they said there, or they can put it back here, they can put it back there, they can put it wherever. A patent is just a bit of a story, not the entire thing. All right, let's go here. Another question right here. All right, we got what is the diagram showing? Is this some sort of control stick mechanism? Yeah, it is. This one, this one right here. Let me go ahead and here. The first thing that this shows a button, right? It shows the button here, a button by itself. So basically, it shows two buttons. We have the one button here, then we have this button right here. So this looks like a joystick. It looks like they are kind of figuring out where they want to add an additional button onto the controller, right? They want to add an additional button. So they present many ways on how they can add that button. We have the single button here, just right there. We have a button that is showing on top of what looks like could be the joystick, and then later on we have another button right here, which will kind of gives you a different type of controller, right? It looks like much like the one on a 3DS or the 3D, the 3DS is kind of like a smooth one like that, right? And then we have this one right here, which is kind of like a combination of the other one, but you still see the button right on top of it, right? And you see these little mechanisms here. It's showing you how you can actually not only push the joystick front, but you can also tilt it, right? So it's like you can move the joystick like you normally do, but you can also now tilt it to the side. You can push and then tilt, right? So you can like slide to the front and slide it to the front, and then you can tilt it. So they show a lot of little different things here, you know. Here's another one right there. Same thing. It's always like you can slide it here and then tilt it at the end. They show this one right here again. I'm not sure if this is a different angle of the actual button, right? It could be a different angle. I'm just like maybe like looking at it from the side. This could be like from the side here. This could be from the side, and this could be if you were looking at the same button, but from the top. Let me see where did I see that button? Come on, button. Yeah, yeah. This could be the how you're looking at it from the top. There's no way of knowing, but this could be why you're looking at it from the top. So there's a it looks like they're trying to figure that out, right? There's nothing really nothing confirmed here through this patent. It the one thing that the patent does confirm is that there's an additional button. They're trying to figure out how to make how to use it, how to make it work. Let's see here. All right, we have another question right there. Okay, let's see here. All right, I see here. All right, Mike. This is from 100 year to J, 1000 year to J. Gotta be honest, I'm not fully convinced that we'll hear about it until later this year. I think it will just be business as usual. Yeah, I agree. I agree. We could get a Nintendo Direct normally and then fill up the rest of the year, and then maybe get to hear about the Switch 2 later in the year for our next year launch, right? So anything is possible. Nintendo has the last words. They're the only ones who know exactly what's happening, what's going to go on. So I completely and 100% agree with you. All right, let's see here. Continue looking for ads. All right. So, do you think the controller storage could be to store a person's controller layout similar to Hope? People customize how they place. Wow, yeah, that is one thing that I did not think about, and that could be true. That's a good one. That's actually a good one. Didn't think about that, but that's also a big possibility that it could have storage and memory in the actual Joy-Con, so that you can actually, you can have your own layout of buttons, change the layout to however it's better for you to play. So very, very good question. Great possibility that that could also be the case. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities that Nintendo could use that feature for. Right now, it's just a feature. Hopefully, they implement it, and there's a big possibility it could happen. Let's see here. All right, let's see here. All right, we got. By the way, so far, great questions, fantastic questions. All right, we got Paul Gill Network. Paul Gill is also another co-host here at the Nintendo Podcast. You can find Paul Gill here every Friday night at 8:30 live. Says here, are you going to be live streaming while Nintendo is sharing their financials report? Hey, that is a good question. I can actually live stream, Paul, if you wanna come up, because if you don't know Paul Gale is an expert at all things Nintendo financial reports and a whole bunch of other information. He's Nintendo in person, like Nintendo in a Paul Gill is Nintendo in human form. If you ever pictured what Nintendo might look like in human form and knowledge and charisma and everything else, that's Paul. Paul is Nintendo in real life. So if you want to ask any questions, Paul Gill is a really good resources to have, especially when it comes to sales and everything like that. So yeah, Paul, if you're interested in joining for a live stream during the reports, we can do that. That would be awesome. Let's see here. All right, make sure to add my Odyssey so that I can still. When you add my Odyssey, what happens is that you can your question, it kind of is highlighted that way I can see it. All right, I have heard the third button. This is from Zach Hendricks, another co-host of the podcast. I have heard that third button will function as both a dedicated select button, and an assignable function button. There you go. There you go. So that actually it makes sense. It's actually really cool to have an assign button because maybe there'll be additional games you can play that it'll be beneficial for you to have this trigger button maybe assigned to the lower button, right? Or have any other button assigned to like a trigger button right here. If Nintendo does decide to put the button on top of the joystick, then maybe that is a good way to assign a new button. So I'm really on board with the dedicated selection button to assign new buttons wherever you want. So that's pretty cool. All right, moving forward, we got about 5 more minutes of questions. If you want to ask your questions, go ahead and make sure you're at Mike Odyssey, and we can go ahead and answer your question. I don't want to leave anybody out. Let's see here. All right, so I got here a suggestion. You can also do this, guys. If you don't have a question, you can also spread. If you want me to highlight your what you think about any of these features or your thoughts about anything that I said, you can also Mike Odyssey at Mike Odyssey and just state your opinion, what you think about these features, your level of excitement, just like my buddy's opinion about the Switch not launching this year, next year, whatever you feel like saying, whatever you feel like responding, you can also add Mike Odyssey and I'll highlight it. And of course, I'll ask you back here live. So maybe the live streaming button directly from console without capture card. That's absolutely awesome. If you can actually live stream straight from the system without having a capture card, like you can attach a YouTube account, attach a Twitch account, attach a Kick account or whatever, and then live stream directly onto your platform, or even capture a certain amount of footage. Right? I think Xbox had that at one point. You can capture up to 30 minutes of footage or something like that. So that could very well be one of the buttons. Hey, if even if it's a function button that you can associate with the system, it'll be cool that Nintendo gives you a list of features that you can actually add to that button via software updates. So I mean, anything is possible. I love that. I really do. That is really awesome. All right, let's see here. Da, 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 da. I see a question. I don't see my at my Odyssey, but I actually caught this question. I'll go ahead and answer it here. Do you think Nintendo will release an OLED later on after the launch, or will there be two models versions? Nintendo being Nintendo, I think they will launch a one version now and then launch another version, a better version later on. Like I think that if Nintendo does launch a better version later on, that other version will have just a little bit more than just OLED, right? I think it'll have a better battery life, beefier specs. If there were to be two models at launch, I would actually got two balloons here. And there I go again. Okay, so it's the balloons that are kicking me out. So yeah, if there were to be two models on Nintendo Switch at launch, I would most likely um picture a model that is all digital and a model that is okay, let me go ahead. All right. All right. So if we would have two models, I would probably see a digital model and a cartridge model. I would say maybe Nintendo decides to issue that digital model and just keep it at the 349, and then the cartridge model at the 399 uh price. That's just my opinion. But I think that there's a better chance of us seeing a digital and a physical model than an OLED and not OLED model, because I think the OLED will completely outsell the other one, and people will just completely ignore the actual, base model there. But that's also a great question. Let's see here. All right, when will the review for Endless Ocean Luminous? When will the review for Endless Oceans? A little bit. Sorry, totally unrelated to the topic. No, that Score Bunny, that's completely fine. You can ask any question you want. Endless Ocean is out the first week of normally it's out the week before, days before, so if the game is out, I think they changed the date. Did Endless Ocean finish? I mean, let me go ahead and look up to see whether they changed the date for Endless Ocean, because I know Nintendo changed their dates for releases from Friday to Thursday, which is also news, right? Nintendo is actually changing their release dates for their systems, for their games, and maybe this is what we will hear and see with starting with Switch 2. We might get Switch 2 games coming out on Thursday rather than them coming out on Fridays. So Endless Ocean is out on the second. Yeah. So Endless Ocean is out on the second. So we should see reviews come out this week. Yeah. So we should see reviews come out tomorrow or the day after. Reviews for Endless Ocean is out tomorrow or the day after. I didn't realize we were that close to Endless Ocean. It's out. Wow. It's out on Thursday, my friends. It's out on Thursday. Yeah, so Endless Ocean is out on Thursday. And Endless Ocean, if I am not mistaken, let me go ahead and check here. If I'm not mistaken, Endless Ocean is the first game that Nintendo is releasing on their new Thursday release schedule rather than releasing on Friday, and is out out this Thursday. So you can see the reviews come up either tomorrow or the next day. It depends on the game. Maybe because it's a new game, it's a sequel. Then maybe it's gonna be out the day before the game releases. Some games Nintendo allows them to be released like super early. I think we got first impressions already on Paper Mario, right? So it just depends on the game. But I can tell you that either today or tomorrow or the day after, we'll see some reviews for Endless Ocean. All right, let's see here. Zach Hendricks. Now button will be directly aligned with the plus and button underneath them. So it says button will be directly aligned. Did I freeze again? Come on. Button will be directly aligned with the plus button and the minus button underneath them. So basically, it's a 3-button layout: the minus button, the plus button, and the next button. The that newer button. Is that where you're mentioning that the buttons will be aligned, like the plus, the minus, and then the other one beneath it? All right, let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Are you attached to the? No, no, I am not attached to the attached. I will never be attached to the attached. It's not a good name. It is not a good name. Although I can tell you that attach kind of sounds a lot like switch. That's what worries me the most. Attach sounds a lot like switch. And so it's also a verb. It's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Attach is not a good thing. Hopefully, I hope that's the code name rather than the actual name. But it's looking more like it's gonna be the name, which is a bummer. It's a bummer. All right. Yeah. Don't forget to join our Discord link. Thank you so much for Blue Moon, our head moderator here at the Odyssey, for sharing the Discord link. Make sure to join that for everything. If you want to also, if you have any information you want to share, you can also join Discord link. Send me a direct message. I always respond to everyone through there. Also, you can join the community, get to know all the people, as well as just talk video, because we have a whole bunch of channels you guys can go over via game. I'm bringing back tournaments pretty soon, so if you guys want to join our tournaments, Mario Kart, Splatoon, Fall Guys, etc., they're all coming back very soon. And let's see another question here. We got time for okay, we got time for a couple more questions. Yeah. Do you think Nintendo will have better accessibility features for next gen? That is my favorite question of ever. If you guys listen, if you guys didn't know, you're seeing me right here, right? But those of you on my channel, you guys know I'm legally blind. Okay, I can't see. If I close this eye, I'm completely blind without this eye because this eye is not working. This eye on good days 70%, on bad days like 40%. And so accessibility features are very very important to me. Like they're very 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 important. Um I normally edit my videos on, I have a 55-inch screen TV on my wall right here. And the reason why you can see the entire office behind me, right, is because I have my setup inside the closet, right? And so inside the closet, I remove the doors and I have the huge screen TV. I can show you my keyboard. If I could show you my keyboard here. If we can show you my keyboard, look at the size of the letters right there. You see? That's the size of the letters of my keyboard. Every letter is like that. They're huge. They're black keys with white letters, which makes it a lot easier for me, right? Increases the contrast on the image so that I can see the keys on my keyboard. And so accessibility is something that's very near and dear to my heart, right? My daughter's also, she has autism as well, so she depends on a lot of those things too. So yeah, I really do hope Nintendo steps it up with their accessibility features. I really do. I hope that not only Nintendo but also developers, they can create games um that are very well, accessible to people with all different types of disabilities. And yeah, I mean, as a blind content creator, as a blind gamer, this sounds weird, right? Blind gamer, but I am. It's very important to me to have accessibility features like that. The 8-inch screen TV, I mean, the 8-inch screen monitor is great, and I hope that when I get it in my hands, I'm able to hopefully play, for the first time. If you guys can see back there, right there and right here, there is my Nintendo Entertainment System. There is my CRT TV. On top of that, it's a device, right? That's actually a portable screen to where I actually attach my Switch, right? On the back. It kind of slides in just like a dock. Once I slide it in into the dock part, the screen lights up and it's a screen like this big. I would say it's a 10-inch, 11-inch screen, right? And it's an 11-inch screen. And so that's I can play some games there in on mobile device. And I love that screen right there. Things like that you're gonna see that on a future video on the channel pretty soon. I'm working on it and I'm testing it and I'm just having fun with it. But you guys are gonna see it soon in the video. So accessibility features. I'm sorry I'm spending too much time on this, but it's important to me. But it is important to me. And I really hope Nintendo does step it up for the next gen system. Voice activated features where I can hear the settings will be awesome. That way I can get my eyes some rest. I have that on my computer right now. It's shut off during live streams, but sometimes you guys can hear it when I used to do my lives. You can hear the voice talking, but yeah, it's important. All right, so let's hear. So a thicker, more advanced tablet with magnetic Joy Cons is what we are getting, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it's stated the system will be bigger, so I'm pretty sure that because it's going to be bigger, it's also going to be a little thicker, right? So bigger, and it'll be a little thicker, and then it's going to have these magnetic kind of connections. It's like a magnetic suction thing, so it activates and deactivates. That's why I think that maybe one of those buttons could deactivate the magnetic suction thingy and then allow the Joy Cons to detach, or the joystick or whatever they call them. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very well like it's not gonna be a thing that easily falls off. And there goes my thing again. but it's not going to be something that easily falls off. Your controllers. It has to be like a high frequency connection, a magnetic connection, because it's electronically driven. It's not just any type of magnet that you might see on any product. It's electronically driven. So on an electronic magnetic connection, which which you can control the intensity of, which is pretty cool, right? I mean, that's what it kind of is described as, electronically magnetic. Um, let's see here. Let's see here. Considering Eurogamer and Bloomberg haven't posted a response confirming a rumor, do we think there's a possibility it's not accurate? Well, Bloomberg and Eurogamer both actually kind of were the leaders in the Nintendo Switch Pro era. Remember that? Remember that? The Switch Pro era where they were the lead. I mean, Bloomberg was the lead in the Switch Pro. I mean, we all content creators felt so confident that there was a Switch Pro coming out because of Bloomberg. We kind of repeated everything they said, only to end up getting the Nintendo Switch OLED. And so, um, Pioro is more reliable than Bloomberg and Eurogamer. So Pioro, you guys know who Pioro is. He's more reliable in the game industry than Bloomberg and Eurogamer are combined, I think, because he has a 100% track record. He's very responsible. He's very careful about what he says. He doesn't really speak outside of what he needs to, right? And when and he doesn't always talk, right? He's not always there spitting, throwing things at the wall to see what fits or what not. He only comes out when he has something to say and something to confirm and something to verify, and that's it, right? That's what a true leaker kind of does. A fake leaker, they're out there all the time on Reddit or on family boards, just spitting out things as much as they can and trying to see what fits and what sticks. Because maybe if one of them comes to pass, hey, look at me, I'm a leaker. But I wouldn't hang all of this information, being non-factual or factual, on whether Eurogamer or Bloomberg cover it or not. I think they just learned their lesson from the past, and I think they're just kind of even being more careful with everything, even if they believe or they have any kind of source. I think they've been burnt in the past, so they want to just kind of relax a little bit, right? All right, next question here comes from Airship Interactive. Do you think a new 3D Mario will be a day one launch title for Switch 2? And if so, how do you think they will implement the new button specifically for the new Mario game? That is a great question. That's a beautiful question. First thing, I do believe that a 3D Mario is going to be a launch game. I do believe it. I think I'm willing to put a lot of money on that. I do believe that 3D Mario is gonna be a launch title. Remember, a launch title is any game that comes out within the first, I say, um, 90 days. I think if any content creator is in the chat, let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the first 90 days of the system's launch, or 6 months. Is one of those. So a launch title will be considered any game that comes out in the first 90 days or 6 months. One of those. But a launch title, day one title, I think 3D Mario is probably gonna be one. And I also think that Metroid Prime 4 is also gonna be one. So yeah, I do think Mario is gonna be a launch title, day one launch title, like you specifically asked. And there's a possibility that the new mechanics really do have a lot to do with this brand new Mario. Shigeru Miyamoto, in an interview, when he was talking about backwards compatibility, he was being asked about backwards compatibility. He kind of hinted, of course, he hinted that they're always working on a brand new Mario. He was the first, I think that was the first time where we started talking about Mario, because he mentioned Mario. He said, yeah, we're always working on a brand new Mario. And so they asked him a question about backwards compatibility. And so he kind of confirmed by saying that, the way they're developing games now is now easier more than ever to bring your current games with you than it was in the past, just because they're using the same, I guess, OS operating system like Xbox is doing with Microsoft. So they're using Nintendo. They have a brand new Nintendo OS, and it started with the Switch. So every Nintendo Switch, every game from Switch moving forward can now kind of have the better chance of being backwards compatible and work good with the next gen system. And so, and with that question, he also said, but my focus, his focus in particular, is creating new experiences according to what hardware is there at the time. So there's a hardware, a controller, a way of playing Mario, and it can make it, more fun for you. It can use those new mechanics, those new buttons, those new ways of playing. He's more excited about that than about backwards compatibility being a thing. After he kind of said that, hey, yeah, backwards compatibility now more than ever is a must. It's very possible, but he also pushed forward, say, you know what? But I actually like to look forward to what the next Mario has, like that next gimmick, that next new feature that Mario brings, and allows us to enjoy and have a good time. So that button, that extra button, wherever they place it, could actually also be part of the new gimmick for that new Nintendo Switch system. So yeah, I would not rule it out. And based on what I said, but what he says, and Joyce agrees. She says she does think that the new also is part of it. Yeah, there's a big giant possibility that that button is part of the brand new gimmick for the Nintendo Switch. Let me see here. Looking for more questions here. Da-da-da. And the reason why I keep my live streams up to, I'll say, an hour 30 minutes is because, of course, my eyesight. You can see my eye starts getting red. It starts getting red because it's the only eye that sees. Like the other eye, you can tell it's kind of like white, red. The reason why it starts getting red is because I only see through one eye. Um, I hope the Banjo Banjo 64. All right, let's continue here. Couple more questions here. Your camera is capturing your hand motions. Oh yeah. I agree. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm on a Mac, so there's a lot of stuff here. Joyce, our co-host for the podcast, says, I seriously want them to call it Switch 2, make it simple. Yeah, I agree. Brolindo, we got Brolindo here. We got this question is for everyone. Did anyone think that Pokemon Legends ZA was actually called Pokemon Legends Z minus, with a arrow head behind the Z? So is it called Z minus? I don't know. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna try to get one more question. Let's see here. Am I allowed to post Fall Guys related links it is about an update coming out on May 7th. Yeah, there is a channel for breaking news on the Discord where you can post all the links for any update you see for games. That way everybody can kind of, go there and find out all the latest news as well. So yeah, I encourage everyone to join the Discord. It's very well organized. I have to thank my moderators, which I have the best moderators in the world. They're just amazing, and they've helped me create a really good Discord community, really well safe and welcoming to everyone, and it's very well organized. So you guys can take a look at that. Let's see here. You guys are playing with the 8 ball. All right, so my friends, thank you guys so much for being here. This Friday we will be here live. We will be here live at the Odyssey every Friday. We're live here on YouTube. We're live on X. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Kick for On In Topic podcast. We have a crew, a beautiful, amazing crew, very knowledgeable in different areas. And I want to see you here. I want you guys, everyone. We have 207 people watching right now. And if you guys could be here on Friday night at 8 Eastern time here on the channel, it'll mean so much to me if you guys can can be here. So set your reminders. This Friday, we have a date. We have a date at the Topic Podcast at 8:30 Eastern Time. That is gonna do it, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. If you just got here, you can rewind this and see all the information we spoke about. We spoke about proofs for Nintendo Switch 2. And if you've been here this entire time, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like button, no matter where you're watching. If you're watching on X, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. It helps out a lot. And subscribe or follow on X or wherever you are watching us from. I appreciate you more than you know. I'll see you live here on Friday for the Nintopic Podcast. This will be the topic of discussion. We'll have other content creators come on and give their opinions as well. I appreciate you more than you know, and I'll see you, all 207 of you. I'll see you at the Nintopic Podcast Friday here tonight. Before I let you go, I got two things I need to let you know. Number one, never give up. And number two, journey on. Peace. I think it's going to freeze in a minute.